What's up, guys?
What's up?
I'm Chris.
I'm Sean.
And this is the Whiskey News.
So we decided to do kind of a budget bottled and bond tasting. I'm pretty excited about this actually. So everything that we're doing is under $25 and bottled and bond. And so we've got a George Dickel. We've got an Early Times, which I tell you, it was really hard to find. It took us about 7 months to find this, didn't it? Yeah. And then we have a very easy to find Evan Williams bottled and bond.
And our understanding is the Early Times, now that it's been bought out by Sazerac, is potentially going away. I mean, that's the rumors I'm hearing. I don't know. Maybe Sazerac decides to keep the Early Times, the name, and still create the bottle and bond.
Or let them just keep operating as they were. We're not sure.
There is another Early Times out there that I think is kind of like the Kentucky Gentleman.
It is. I had it when I was in New Orleans thinking. So I was in this bar. Funny story. I was in a bar in New Orleans and recently, last year actually, 2020. And I asked them what kind of bourbons they had, and they said Early Times. And Chris and I had been looking for Early Times for a long time. I was like, holy crap, they have Early Times. So I said, give me that. So I sipped it, and I was like, this tastes like watered down. What is this? You know, it's not bottled and bond. There's no way. And so, anyway, so...
have you kept those in order?
It's in order like this.
Okay.
So this is... Did you do it the opposite?
Yeah, mine's the opposite. So mine goes...
I can switch it.
Evan Williams, Early Times, George Dickel.
So this is yours. What you're good? You start with George Dickel.
Mine goes Evan Williams, Early Times, George Dickel.
Mine's Evan, Early, George Dickel.
Okay, all right. So we're in the right order.
Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay, I got it right.
Let me see. See your last one here. Yeah, it smells right.
Yeah.
You'll know on video whether or not we did that whole shuffle the right way.
Oh no. But anyway, so I tried like the budget version that's called. I don't know how they get away with having the same name, to be honest with you. Because
I think it's just the Early Times without the bottled and bond. Is it from early? It's got to be from Early Times. They have the name Early Times.
I didn't do enough research. If you guys want to do some research, but there's a budget Early Times out there that's not bottled and bond.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the Early Times you had is Early Times, but it's the non-bottled and bond version.
Maybe, but it was not great. It was a very budget whiskey, and I was very disappointed. I talked to the lady that served everything to me. I was like, do you water your alcohol down? She's like, no. And I was like, can you show me the bottle of that? She brought it out, and her and I both laughed because her significant other is a big whiskey fan as well, and we had a long conversation. I called Chris while I was there and told him about it. I was like, dude, and I've been texting him, and I was like, dude, I did not find the Early Times. But anyway.
So there's a lot of rumblings about this bottle out there and about how great it is, and it's such a great budget bottle. And so anyway, you're talking $25 for the George Dickel. We're here in North Carolina. Prices are regulated, so $25 for the George Dickel bottled and bond.
Yep.
25, but the difference is here you're getting 750 milliliter. You're getting a full liter here.
Yeah, that's a bigger bottle.
Technically is cheaper than the George Dickel.
It is.
And then this might be one of, in my opinion, the best values in whiskey.
In his opinion.
Yeah, I mean you're talking like $13.
I'm just gonna say, trying all of these, I'm more of a fan of the George Dickel bottle and bond in my opinion. So
and I think this is similar to Jack Daniel's in the sense that it's charcoal filtered.
It is. Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying that. Yep, distilled and
because
charcoal
the rye
mellowed at Cascade Hollow Distillery.
But see, this is aged 11 years. It's got to be a minimum of 4. That's aged 11 years, which is actually impressive. Their rye, which I have at home, and he's gone through the rye as well.
I finished that bottle in maybe 2 nights.
Yeah,
so the rye was my jam.
Yeah. So and it's charcoal filtered. So chill filtered. They say chill charcoal filtered.
So we've had all 3 of these. So this is not going to be a new tasting for us.
No, but we want to compare right here.
We did have the Early Times up against some pretty high proof whiskeys.
Thursday night.
It was a neck pour. Sean called it acorn juice.
It's very woody. Oaky, very woody.
Yeah.
Yep. Very bitter.
This has kind of got a sour
mash.
Yeah, sour mash, kind of like a little bit of a funk to it. The Evan Williams to me is peanuts. So those are some of just of the tastiness we remember from previous experiences. We'll give you our feel on it this time around.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Dickel, you want to start with the Evan Williams?
Let's start with the Evan Williams.
All right, so we'll start with Evan Williams. I will tell you, of these three, this is probably my favorite. So Sean's more toward the Dickel. I like the Evan Williams.
And and honestly, I mean, if we were to do these true justice, we probably would do a blind tasting and have your wife pour them.
Sure, yeah.
While we're waiting and everything, and maybe we'll do that down the road after we do this. That'd be a fun way to follow this up. But definitely Evan Williams. I don't have these mixed up at all. This is very peanuts on the nose every time. I get a very oaky, a little spice with the 100 proof. Some of that peanuts.
I'm not getting as much peanuts as I normally get.
I get it all day long every time I drink it.
And we're definitely getting a bitter wood flavor off of it.
Yeah, that oak.
All right, so this is early times. Definitely going to be wood heavy on this one.
That's what I remember with everybody. Now I'll tell you, after smelling that, I get some caramel, brown sugar. I remember from the other night, this has a really good nose to it up front.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
That I enjoyed. But I can, on the back end of that, it kind of flattens out, and I do get the oak and a little bit of the bitter.
This is your normal bourbon flavors. I mean, this is your caramel, your sugar.
It is.
Your baked goods.
You're getting a full liter for $25, so you're probably getting about an $18 bottle of Fifth. If you
can find it. I will say it's hard to find.
It was. The ABC store I walked into the other night when I called you had like 8 bottles of it, and I only bought 2. He almost went up there and bought more.
Yeah, I don't want to be willing to say this would be one to buy just because there does seem to be a lot of hype about it. Definitely better than the neck pour.
It is. It has opened up.
Still very wood heavy.
Very. Yeah, very oaky.
This reminds me a lot of the force aging we did.
It does.
That's where we introduced the new oak staves.
Yeah, and even some of the ones that had some of the bitterness to it up front, and we aged it with the oak staves. It kind of opened it up a little bit, So it does have a little bit of complexity to it that I enjoy. For those of you out there that may not be as into some of the candy sweeter, that would probably be a good bourbon for you.
This might be one that Keith would like.
I agree. It's
because there's no sweet in this.
There's not a lot. No, it's got
on
some
the
notes.
on the nose, but in the taste and on the palate, not getting.
It's almost got not a sweet butter. It's almost got a buttery, oaky kind of a flavor to it. Leave some for our second round.
I'm going to. Yeah. It's really odd. It's usually pretty easy for me to decide whether or not I like something or not.
Not quite there. Yeah, in the middle. I'm the same way with it. I don't dislike it at this point. When we tried it the other night and the lineup that we had, I was like, that's definitely a budget. But tonight...
It tastes like what I think whiskey should taste like before I ever really introduced myself to whiskey. You were so if you told me hey, whiskey is this spirit that's aged in oak barrels, right? And that's what you told me about it?
Yeah.
I'd say, oh yeah, that tastes like that was aged in oak barrels.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And I could live with that. I mean, I could,
Yeah. And for the price and for as much as you get, I would say, it's bottle and bond. It's 100 proof.
The challenge is, it is $25. You are getting a liter.
Yeah.
And we don't have it because I need to buy another bottle. But if you compare this to Wild Turkey 101, I mean, the Wild Turkey would just destroy it.
Yeah, maybe that should be a future.
Yeah, we'd really need that.
I got an unopened bottle.
I feel bad that we don't have that in here.
Yeah.
Very oak heavy though, guys. So if you haven't had early times bottle to bond, and you like a little more bitter, if you like those tannins and the wood that you
the less
you get,
sweet,
the wood.
Because I'll say it's not it's complex. It's not that it's not complex. It's got a lot of different flavor notes and everything. And
I wouldn't use complex to describe it, just simply because I can't pick up more than just a couple notes.
Okay.
So I'm getting bitter and I'm getting a lot of wood. Maybe a hint of sweet, but it's so light.
Yeah, when I tried it the other night, I would say I didn't get complex. I got a lot of the oak, a lot of the wood, and it was more of the bitter of what we were trying. But tonight, since it's opened up when I try it, I get some more of the spice, a little cinnamon in it, a little bit of what I get on the nose. I get just a hint of it, and we'll come back around.
It's got a great nose. It really does have a good nose.
Does.
The nose is deceiving.
It does, but yeah. So there you go. Early times. All right, let's do the George Dickel. That's got a good nose to it. Chris just went right to the tasting, so
I just skipped over
he
it.
did. He's like, and I'll talk about the nose a little bit, but it's got a good nose. It's got a buttery nose to it.
It's got heat.
It does, yeah.
Like it smells proofier.
And
than
we're talking
other
11 years. I mean, for $25, 11 years, like in bottled and bond, 100 proof. But yeah,
it's bourbon.
it is bourbon. And I would say
I get the normal bourbons.
You know, I get on the
smells
nose. I get a buttered popcorn on the nose.
I get popcorn.
Yeah, I get a buttered popcorn on the nose. Is what I get from that. A little sweet, like a kettle corn. Is what I get.
Sour cream and chai potato chip.
Mm.
It's a good nose. I will say on the palate,
It is
of the
spicy.
3 of these, and this one's always so hard because I love Evan Williams. Folks, this is my 3rd bottle of Evan Williams bottled and bond. I mean, for the money, like I keep one of these
It's
in my
a daily
in-laws
drinker.
just because.
So when you go over there,
when
you
I
got
go over
something?
there, I have whiskey.
That's funny.
And yeah, so I mean, I always know that I've got something over there to drink, and you can't go wrong with the Evan Williams bottle and bond. And I've come to find that I like Heaven Hill just because mainly I like peanuts, so you know I like the peanut flavor
I don't dislike the peanut
that I
flavor
get
at
from
all.
Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
But this is good stuff. But in this lineup, right now I'm leaning toward the George Dickel.
Yeah. You know, where was it the other night? We did something the other night where we did a blind tasting, and the George Dickel won out. You remember that?
We did Evan Williams,
Mm-hmm.
George Dickel, Mellow Corn.
Yeah. Did we do Kentucky Gentleman? It was not on camera. You guys didn't get to see this, but
Yeah, I think Kentucky Gentleman was in
yeah.
the mix-up.
And I think we're doing some budgets, and I think the George Dickel won out. Of course, it was the higher end of that, and almost was out of the league of those that we were trying. But
Well, I don't know. I think that Evan Williams definitely compares to it.
it does. No, but the other two, it was definitely out of the league.
Well, mellow corn is so one flavor.
It is mellow corn is mellow corn.
I mean, when you have mellow, I think I could pick mellow corn out of any lineup. Like you could put mellow corn in any lineup with any other whiskey, and I could pick it out.
We should try that soon. So we're going to rotate back through after we've had everything and kind of cleanse our palates a little bit, but you know, and just kind of nose through and do a quick taste. So the Evan Williams.
Evan Williams got a darker color to it.
A little darker. Evan Williams is.
Early times, that George Dickel were pretty close.
I think they've all got a very similar color.
I think that Evan Williams.
The Evan Williams is a little darker.
Definitely
Yeah,
darker.
it's a little darker, but yeah, they're all pretty similar. So we'll try it through, and then we'll see which one
We starting back, going back to Evan Williams.
Yeah. Is that what you want to do, or you want to go back the other way?
Let's go back the other way.
Okay. So we'll finish with George.
Yeah, because
Dickel
if this really is the best, it should hold up.
by the time we get to the end, yeah, kind of like we did the other night.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
It's got a good
remember.
nose, man.
It
I
does.
mean, on the nose, it's sweet.
It is. It's got a very unique nose. That's what I enjoy about this. Is it's got a very unique nose. It's not overpowering sweet, but it's got that, you know,
Like a
I said.
banana bread.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I never thought about that. It does have a little banana bread smell.
Oh, banana bread with some pecans in it. Oh.
Okay, that's a new one for me, but yeah, I like that. I can get that.
You know what's funny?
Well, I can taste the pecan now that you mentioned it. It's funny how you plant
Yep.
things and you can like.
Well, it's kind of got that nutty. You know when you eat raw nuts and you get like that kind of that cottonmouth's not the right word, but kind of your tongue
A little bit dry.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Kind of like the dust that you get from it, kind of dries your tongue out a little bit. That's what I'm getting. But you know what's interesting? When I have the George Dickel, like when I'm here by myself and I'm drinking whiskey, just enjoying whiskey, not really tasting, just in a rocks glass drinking whiskey.
Watching TV, doing whatever. Yeah.
I'll have George Dickel. I will never follow it up with another pour of George Dickel.
Really? That's all you have, and then you get something
I
else?
have it, and then I'm like, just not feeling it. And then I have something else. But this is the second time we put it in a lineup of something. And the last time we did it, it was a blind. And it won out. And right now,
it's winning.
you know, we're getting ready to go back down through the lineup.
We are.
But it's winning, which is interesting.
Let's try a little bit of.
I mean, even
early
after
times
with
on
the
it.
water, it's still sticking with me.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I probably need a second glass. It's very, very oily, very thick, in a good way. Yeah, I agree. Again, now on the nose, I'm going to be honest with you. The early times on the nose wins out over all of them, with what I prefer and the smell.
That nose, it smells so deceiving.
It is like you don't get
Yeah,
that on
that Evan Williams ain't bad.
No, it's not.
George Dickel ain't bad.
No.
On the nose, all
No.
of these are pretty good.
But I prefer the early times on the nose. The early times is my favorite on those.
I got a big old nose. Okay, if you don't believe me, look at the side profile. Okay.
It's that traditional caramel.
I'd have to agree with you. I think that
Just that sweeter, some of the vanilla. Some of the things you expect out of a whiskey, like you said.
like a buttercream icing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good nose.
It is. Mm-hmm. So let's.
That was better.
But I like it. It is buttery. You said buttercream. It is buttery. It's got a buttery flavor to it.
It is buttery. You said buttercream. It is buttery. It's got a buttery flavor to it.
And it's not super sweet.
There it is.
The bitter.
There's the bitter.
Mm-hmm.
There's the oak.
Yeah.
It's definitely wood forward.
Yeah. It is.
I think I got the buttery just because you're planting that in my head.
You said the buttery earlier.
On the nose.
Yeah.
On the nose.
Yeah.
And the nose, I'm telling
in the front.
you,
In the
I'm
front,
telling you, the
front of my
nose
tongue,
on
I
this
get the
early
buttery.
times does not match up to the palate
It doesn't.
at all. And it's
No.
very similar to the Kentucky Gentleman. The nose does not match up to the palate.
But that Kentucky Gentleman, I'll be honest with you, they're in two different leagues. Like
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not comparing the two.
Right. But the nose compared to palate, you're exactly right. You expect one thing, you drink it, and you get a different, very natural.
But they're both
oaky,
also bitter.
woody. Yeah,
They're both also very wood forward.
they are. And that and like I said, that's not a bad thing. That's just depends on what you prefer.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
Next.
All right. So obviously, I want to like the Evan Williams because
He
this
said
is
that was
what I
his
consider
favorite.
is my favorite. Because I will tell you this: when I have George Dickel, I don't want to go back for a second glass after I've had some.
Keep drinking.
But I'll keep drinking Evan Williams all night.
And I don't have a single Evan Williams in my collection.
Or Heaven Hill. Do you have
No.
any Heaven Hills?
I've got Elijah Craig.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I've got one Elijah Craig.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one Elijah Craig that's a rye.
So the Evan Williams lineup, you got Evan Williams white label, which is the bottom one. You got the black label, which is just their basic,
right.
and then you have the single barrel, which is like $35.
We haven't had that, have we?
Yeah, we have. It's been a poker night. You've only had maybe a pour of it.
Okay.
But I lived with that bottle and finished that bottle. And I mean, as far as single barrels go, $35 is probably one of the best values for single barrels you can get.
Yeah.
It's a lower proof, but it's good stuff. It's hard for me because this is a $13 bottle. It's 100 proof.
It's that value
Where
versus
yeah,
taste,
and you get the
know,
single
and-
barrel.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm going to say it's around the 45% mark, maybe 43. It's somewhere in that realm, and it's good, but it's hard for me to spend more than twice as much on something that has less proof. It's just
I agree with
it's
that.
a hard thing to do.
I agree with that completely.
But it's good whiskey, and for $35 for a single barrel, it's hard.
Same nose. I get a very just nutty, buttery peanut. Maybe I'm just into the butter tonight. I don't know.
It's nutty, buttery, peanut. Maybe I'm just into the butter tonight. I don't know.
Like
No, I got peanuts that time.
yeah, and I don't get a lot of sweet. There's some hints of it, but it's some very light hints.
There's definitely some wood, some peanut.
Yeah. And
It doesn't smell proofy.
no, it doesn't. You don't get that 100 proof to the nose for sure. But yeah, I just get a very. I get a very
It's
calm-
$13 whiskey.
Yeah, it is.
$13.
I mean, yeah, Dude, I'm there with you on
I
that.
think you can get a handle of this for less than $20.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Chewed that one a little bit more.
I chewed that one. I'm still getting peanuts all the way through.
You know,
I get it from front to back.
I'm getting the wood is forward.
There's a lot of wood.
I'm getting a little peanut.
It's a little bitter.
I'm not getting as much peanut as I normally get.
No, I got a lot of peanut with that. A little bitter. Oaky.
Cookie dough.
I get no cookie dough.
A little bit of cookie dough.
Dude, we need to do a blind on that. We should do these blind at some point in
A little
time.
bit of cookie dough.
I'm telling you, I think that
Look,
you're biased.
I know I'm completely biased. We already have done a blind with the exception of this one. And this
that
one
one
won.
out. Yeah.
So, look, I already know
Yeah.
that, but here's what I'm saying. In a blind, this one won.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Tonight, tasting them, this wins.
Yeah.
Okay? This is just too much wood for me. It's just too bitter.
Yeah.
And not in like a coffee. I love coffee, black coffee. It's
Yeah, it
the
didn't
way I
have a
drink
coffee
it.
or toffee.
It's
no,
not a coffee bitter kind
no,
of
it's
note.
woodsy.
It's a wood bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of tannins in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I agree.
literally you're sucking on a piece of wood. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what this is like.
Yeah.
And I will say this tastes better. In a blind, it wins, and in a non-blind, it wins.
Yeah.
But I know that when I have this at home by myself, I never reach for it a second time because I just don't enjoy it. And I enjoy the Evan Williams every time.
Huh.
So I don't know the logic behind that.
It's interesting.
Maybe I'm being silly.
Well, it could be the money. You know, we always talk about that. We always talk about the value.
Yeah, you're still
to
talking
flavor.
$25. $25 in my mind is
To
still
13. But I mean, I'm just saying,
I
you know.
get it, but
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, $25 for an 11-year aged.
no, I mean
it's like I said, this is my choice.
Here's the
100
thing.
proof, bottled and
It's
bond.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But when you compare that to the rye, I prefer the rye hands down.
Well, you know I do. I enjoy the rye, and I went through that pretty quick.
The rye,
so.
if you had me a choice between George Dickel bourbon or the rye, I'm going to take the rye every single time. The early times to me, it's so wood forwarded, wood heavy. The nose is fantastic, but it is so woody. You know, and there's so many people raving about that.
Yeah.
That maybe they just really enjoy the wood flavor.
And maybe there are people out there, and that's what I was just going to say. You like what you like.
Sure.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that one way or the other. You know, and, you know, I think there are people out there that would try this and say this holds more true to the bourbon flavors of oak. You know, maybe.
It's definitely, I mean, if you want to know what wood tastes like, early time is where it's at. I mean, we can go out to my shop and I can give you some wood to suck on. That was dirty. But anyway,
That was a little bit.
I'll say this. You can't go wrong with any of these.
Yeah.
If you can find it, I think the early times is definitely worth trying.
I agree.
The Evan Williams, in my mind, is still one of the best values in whiskey. The George Dickel is, I mean, it's 11 years. I agree with you on that front. It's 11 years, 100 proof.
And it's won twice. Once in a blind, and
It
it
has.
actually won in this, right?
It has, but I have to be honest. I don't reach for it very often. I mean, I've had this bottle for a while.
Maybe you should take the label off.
You just pour it in another bottle.
Yeah.
Pour it in a bottle I like more. Pour it in an Evan Williams bottle. Maybe
And
I'll
see
drink
what,
more.
and see what you think. Like I always say this: the labeling and the marketing has so much to play.
But see, here's the
on what
thing.
we- on-
Here's
on
the
how
thing.
we pick
But
things.
here's the thing. You talk about labeling.
Yeah.
I think this is a gorgeous label.
No, I agree. I do too.
If I had
It
to
hits all the
choose,
notes.
if I had to choose between which label, I would choose the George Dickel. I mean, this is a beautiful label. I mean, you got the gold, you got the blue. You know, I'm a blue guy. I love blue. So the George Dickel to me is awesome. I think the early times is a gorgeous label.
It is. It's got a very 1920s label too.
For sure. This looks like a banner you would see on like a circus tent from like the 1920s, 1930s.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, these two win out.
On the label.
On labeling, I think the early times actually takes the cake.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the labeling is affecting how people review it. I think the Evan Williams. I mean, I like the labeling's not bad, but
that's why I'm a fan of blind. I'm a fan of blind.
I get it. I get it
because
I get it. But what I'm telling you
that
is,
true.
when I go to reach for a bottle of whiskey, I know I'm never reaching for this thing more than once.
Okay. Well, then let me take that off your hands.
we can arrange that, okay? We can arrange that. But
because I don't have that in my collection at home, which is funny. I've only had it here.
But I love the rye, and don't get me wrong, I like it. I mean, I've already told you that in this lineup, this wins.
Yeah.
But it's so weird how things work out, because in a blind, this wins
every time.
In a tasting we just
he
had,
picks it every time.
This wins.
But when he's at home drinking, he
but
prefers
I'm just telling you, when I'm at
Williams.
home drinking, I don't reach for it.
So here's what I'll say: if any of you have had the same experience in any way, shape, or form, if you have a daily drinker that you always reach for, would love to hear your comments on why, or just the out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Let's get the conversation started.
Yeah. Does your daily drinker? When I say daily drinker, I don't think anybody drinks the same whiskey every day. Maybe they do. But do you have a whiskey that you reach for more often than any other whiskey in your collection? And do you do that because of price? Because you don't feel bad about drinking it because you know it's cheap to replace?
Special occasion
or do you
versus
do it simply because you love it?
It's what I want to drink.
And you want to drink more of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that for me, it's a little bit of both. It's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't think you could go wrong with any one of these, mainly just because the price is so great.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for great, budget bottles, these would be three that would be great to try.
All bottled and bond, all have a rich history. Yeah. I mean, you could look up the history of any one of these, and 100 proof, and the flavor profiles on all of them are very different, but also very good.
I will tell you, there's one bottle that will kill all three of these. Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, we probably should have brought
Throw
that
a Wild Turkey 101 in there. I wish I'd known Sean had it at home. I told him to bring it. Throw a Wild Turkey 101 in there, and, I really think that it would beat all three of these. That should probably be a video in the future.
So we'll do 4, but it may be the only 4 that we do.
And it may be a different 4, because, as we try whiskeys, we might determine that we have another budget bottle that we enjoy more.
Yeah.
But these are all 100 proof budget bottles.
Yeah, 25 or below.
Yeah. So definitely check any of these out. They're great whiskeys. Leave your comments. We love all feedback, good or bad.
Yes.
We just like engagement.
Yeah.
If you have any recommendations for future videos, we'd love that. Mm-hmm. You can find us on Instagram at The Whiskey Noobs. You can email us at whiskeynoobs@gmail.com. You can also, we would love for you to go ahead and like this video. We'd love for you to subscribe for when we have new videos coming out.
And hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the notification bell so that you get notifications next time we launch a video. We're going to keep these coming because we're having a blast.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, and we're drinking whiskey. So, guys, here's the one thing I'll say. If you have an opportunity, share whiskey with someone new. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate all of you. Have a great one.
See ya.
Take care.